That's how I noticed the head gasket was gone. I'd hear gurgling when I turn it off. Alright, well, I'll clean all that up. Well, I'm gonna do the head gasket on the Cummins. I've got a ARP 625 head studs. Got a grid heater delete plate and OEM head gasket kit. Head gasket kit. Got more than just the head gasket, exhaust gasket. But yeah, I just went for a little drive around town, and it's just about to stop now. But the coolant tank is bubbling. So the head gasket is definitely leaking. I'll do some cleaning up around here, make sure it's pretty clean before I start taking anything apart. And then I'll start taking off the CCV cover and then CCV filter covers. My wastegate dial, intake horn, and then all the exhaust manifold bolts gotta come off. That's gonna be probably the toughest. I'll have to take my wastegate off too to get the back ones, not sure. That's definitely not gonna help having that wastegate there. Looks like I need to drain my compressor. Got a lot of water coming out of there, but that's a good way to clean that off before you start taking things apart. It's a good idea. You don't want anything going down inside your engine, because your engine's going to be pretty exposed by the time you get this all apart. So now I'll start taking all these little bolts off around there. Take some clamps off, hoses, whatnot there, all the little things. Well, I'll lay this out on my bench exactly how it was as I slowly take it apart. I'll take pictures as I go along with this video to help me remember how everything was. So it looks like a bunch of 8mm bolts, so I'll go get that now. It'd be a good time to change this filter. I just did it. For the back ones, you're going to want a deep socket. There's a little wire connector kind of thing. So it's got a stud on the one instead of a bolt. Show you here in a second. Cap. I always forget the cap holds it on there. Cap knocked on there. I like to put all my bolts back in if I can. That way there's no chance of losing them or forgetting which one goes where. Alright, so I'm thinking I have to remove this. So it connects to the intake horn and the wastegate, which I think I'll have to remove anyway. So correct, this is 10mm nuts on there, which likely won't matter to you unless you have this wastegate. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to taking off the dipstick and the hoses here, the connectors, just all the little things like that now. Oh, it broke my socket. One 10mm down. Could they strip that at the same time? Holy shit, that's on there good. You got it. This one's a little tough to get at. I think that's all there. So I think now the valve cover I guess I'll do next. Here's the hose back in here. Gurgle, gurgle. That's how I noticed the head gasket was gone. I'd hear gurgling when I turn it off. I popped the hood and noticed the coolant tank bubbling. Yeah. I won't let his hand tight. Nut. I know I won't get lucky and it'll be this easy to take off, but. Alright, so I'm gonna start taking the valve cover off. Oh shit. They're on a lot tighter than you'd expect your 10mm bolt to be on. Now I get that hose in the back a little better. That might be tough though. It's kind of twisted under. I'm gonna try some different pliers. So that hose has on the bottom has a connector. There's two little white tabs that you're gonna press on each side. You won't be able to see much of it. You'll just see the bottom. I can't get my hand in there. You'll just see the bottom of this tab, and then on the back side there's another one too. Sorry. You'll just see the bottom of this tier tab, and then on the opposite side there's another one. You're just gonna push that in and pull this up. So 2 more 10mm bolts back in there. And I think that's it for the valve cover. I'm not sure if these little buggers have to come off. But I'm just gonna start with the big ones first. I think probably a ratchet wrench is the best choice for this. The 10mm ratchet wrench is nowhere to be found. So, whatever wrench it is, I guess. Alright, so now I'm moving on to all these injector wires. I'll get them out of the way. So we're just going to drop the nut, but it looks like the nuts are all attached to the wires, so you don't have to worry about that. Although I still am worried about it. You don't realize how far the engine goes back until you have to do something like this. I didn't anyways. Alright, so that's all the wires. So I did miss a connector. Try to keep it as clean as possible. So with that out of the way, I'm gonna remove this whole plate here that holds all the rockers in there. So it's just all these bolts down the center. So that's something to remember. The smaller one goes in the front here. Guessing there's probably gonna be a smaller one in the back. And all these center ones probably be the same. Alright, that should be that. Now that I got that off, I'm gonna move on to removing the rockers. There's 2 10mm bolts on each one. But before I do that, I'm going to loosen the nuts on all of them, just because the new gasket's going to be a little thicker, and you don't want it to bind up when I put the new one on. You want to have some space, and we'll really adjust those all after. So as well as the lock nut, you're going to want to loosen up the Allen in the middle itself. It is just a lock nut that stops that from backing off. Loosening that really isn't loosening anything. Oh, that was almost real bad. I'm gonna break this head latch if I hit my head on it one more fucking time. So you don't want to loosen this a whole lot. You do want to loosen it.
That's better, right?
Oh yeah, living the dream, man. That's not too bad though. Could be worse. Yeah. Although I think the exhaust bolts might be fun. I'm getting there. Put the valve cover off. Bunch of other fucking shit. Yes. It's a dirty job, that's for sure. Nice when it's done though. I haven't drove for a while, I've been worried fucking shit up.
Yeah.
Oh, I cut myself.
That's lucky.
Nice. Yeah, look at all the fucking parts are all over here.
Half parts, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that bench ready. I'm gonna cover it in parts now too. I'm gonna pull all these rockers out.
Alright, well, I'm having to eat some cereal.
Eat some cereal.
Okay.
Got supper?
Sorry.
Oh, just munchies, eh?
Yeah.
Alright, man. Yeah, you too, man.
Teach it and stuff.
Smoke cigarettes.
Drink beer.
So you're gonna keep these in order. So I got them lined up on the bench. I'll show you after. Front to back sort of thing. Exactly how it looks. And the next one. It's actually a lot clearer in here than I was thinking. I was expecting a lot more crud for 337,000 kilometers. So yeah, these are on the bottom of each rocker, and you gotta be careful, they want to fall off. Just keep that in mind.
The hell? Up and in it, eh?
Fucking right.
Fucking up to the elbows in it. Jeez, that looks like real shit, Jess. That's some real mechanic shit.
Definitely is.
Fucking right.
We got one more rocker, and I'm calling it good for the night. See all my parts I got on the bench there?
Oh, fuck it.
That sounds like Minnie.
Yeah, they both look good. She might want to come in and visit me.
She came around already.
Oh, there she is. There she is.
Hey, big man. Good girl, Minnie.
Open for you, amen. Sorry. Yeah. What's he doing up there, eh?
How you doing, Mins? Good girl, Minnie.
Yeah, good girl.
Almost done here, Min. Kind of for tonight. Definitely not almost done. I guess it's a fair job. I still got a bit more to do to get the head off.
You smell nice now, man. Swimming in the fucking lake, eh?
Fresh, clean swamp doggy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go shower and croak this.
Alright. Night, eh?
Night.
Alright, so for the back two cylinders, there's plugs in the top of the firewall. They're a little tough to remove, but just kind of work at them and they'll pop out. And they allow you to take the push rods out. You're going to lift them up. I found the front one. I tilted it backwards, sort of thing. I'll show you which one. The first cylinder of the two back ones, I lifted it up and I tilted it backwards to remove it. And then the very back cylinder, I lifted up and I found to bring it forward like that. And they came out pretty good. So now I think I'll take off some of the intake, just give me a bit of room. And then I guess the intake horn, just to be intakey. I guess not removing the air box. So I ended up taking the air box and everything out, actually all the way down to the turbo. Lots of room in there now. Yeah, I'll get on the intake horn there. I already got the dipstick off here. So it looks like I just got the one air line. And a couple plugs here. Connector. Fuckers on there. Holy shit. She popped off already. Yeah, that grid heater looks fucked. Now I think I'll do the exhaust manifold before I open the engine up much more. Give it any more opportunity to get dirt and crap in there. I want to take the wastegate off or not. There's some bolts way back in there and it might be tough without taking it off. Back one's got this stupid clip we gotta take off. Alright, so I guess first thing I'm gonna do on the exhaust side is the thermostat housing here. I really would like to stick that wastegate through the hood or something, a cowl. Alright, so now that that's off, I'll go on to the exhaust manifold. This is kind of one thing that worries me. I'm not sure how those bolts come on there. They go through a lot of heat cycles and they're pretty old and rusty. But so we'll start with the heat shield here first, and then we'll move on to the exhaust manifold. I'm starting at the front. Get this heat shield off. Give myself as much room to get my arms in. Get those back ones. They're pretty tight back there. And so yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to take the rest of this line off here, just to slip this manifold off, the heat shield off, sorry. I can leave that there. If it feels like it's gonna break, I can always snip this end of the heat shield if I have to. Don't want to break that off. Right, so I'm guessing those are probably 15. I'm actually gonna take that wastegate off. It's been on there last time and everything else, so it should come off. So there's a bolt there, not down under there. Right down behind the alternator. And that is holding that pipe on there. Well, I do have to spin the alternator over anyways, so maybe the little lock that'll give me what I need.
Give me the guts of it, eh?
Yeah.
Goddamn guts are hanging out.
Okay, now I'm gonna move the alternator over a bit, hoping that can give me some room to get at this manifold bolt there, and it's also connected to the head, so I need to do it anyways. So I'm gonna take the top bolt out here, and I'm gonna loosen the bottom one, and I'm gonna kind of tilt it over to the side a bit and open that out. That should give me room. If it doesn't, then we have to try and remove this pipe more. There's this nut down in there I have to take off. Or maybe a bolt. I think it's a nut. But so to start, I'm gonna move this rad shroud or fan shroud back a bit. There's a nut here, and on the bottom I'm gonna take off, and I'm gonna bend it back a bit. Jam something in there, give me some space. A deep socket, something like that should work good. Okay, so now that I got the alternator off, I'm gonna take off all these wire connectors and tie wraps, everything that's holding the wires onto there. And then I'm gonna see if now maybe that I got the alternator over there, if I got room to get this nut down under here, hold the heat shield on. Hopefully so, and we can continue on. Okay, so that worked good. I had lots of room to get my ratchet in there, and it's a 15 mil, and it's coming off great. Didn't notice I left these two little bolts for the heat shield sitting there. So I ended up going through the fender here, and I got the back. Well, I thought it was the clip. Well, there is that stupid clip, but before that there's a bolt for the bracket for the transmission dipstick. So I got that bolt off through the fender here. I'm going to try and move the dipstick off the stud, and then try and move that stupid clip underneath it. And then we just got, I guess, 3 nuts left here, 3 studs left, exhaust manifold bolts, whatever you want to call them, to get off, and then injectors and lift the head out. Alright, so now that I got the exhaust manifold all loosened off, I'm going to go over to the driver's side, or the fuel side, whatever, and I'm going to start taking off the injectors. So I'm just going to go back and forth from one side to the other, a little bit at a time, until you feel it kind of break loose. So I'm going to loosen up all these bolts on the injectors, and then I'm going to take off all these fuel lines And once the fuel lines are off, there's like a locking nut on each of the fuel tubes that you have to remove before you can actually remove the injectors. So that's all those. So now I'm going to move on to the fuel lines. I think they're a 19mm wrench you'll need for them. Yep. So same as the rest of the parts, but the fuel lines, I'm going to put them the way they were on the truck. So this third fuel line goes to the fourth connection on the fuel rail. Just something to remember for me or for you. Alright, the battery died, but I got the last fuel line out, and I took the first locking nut for the fuel tube out. I'm just going to pry that fuel tube out of there. It should come out pretty easy. You just can use any kind of pry tool, flat screwdriver, whatever. You just want to be careful while you're doing it though. You don't want to damage the threads. There we go. And same as everything else, you keep this with the first injector. Everything else with the first filter. Basically the same thing for the injector. Not as much to pry on it, but it does come out pretty easy. I didn't think this earlier, just use the 15th, 16th wrench. Should fit on there perfect. There we go. Much better. Be careful on this one, I won't break that connector there, sensor, whatever. Alright, so now that I got the fuel lines off, I'm going to move on to the fuel rail. I think it's just 4 bolts, and then the main feed line to well, I'm at, take off this wire here. Alright, so it's a 17, and it should come off pretty good. Alright, now that the fuel rail's out of the way, I'm hoping to get that back and fuel inject it a little better. Still doesn't exactly look like a good time. Let's see here. Oh, sorry, reached me back there after a long time. But, alright, pretty sure that's all the way loose now. Fuck yeah. Wow. That sucked. I'm still not done back there though. So as far as I can tell, just a fuel line in the back there, which is kind of got a bracket that's hooks on. Try and take the fuel line out. I think it's this. I try and take that fuel line off and leave that bracket. Probably take the bracket out when it comes off. I don't really see what that does. Maybe it's just so you don't hit the head and lift it out or put it in or whatever. It's a guide kind of. But sure isn't the fucking way to put the injector in. Alright, so now that everything's disconnected, it's just the head bolts holding the head on there. So I'm going to start moving them. They're 18 millimeter bolt. I'm going to do the same basic sequence as you would to put the head on, but I'm going to do it in reverse. So I'm going to start at the front left one here, sorry. And then you go front left, front right, and then back left, back right. Yes, yep. And then work my way inward. Then back to front again. Front left, front right, and back. Sorry. Continue on like that. Front, then back, all the way into the center. Working from outside to in. I'll stop it from warping. Sorry, I made a mistake. It's front left, front right, and back right, back left. Back side is reversed. Alright, so that's all the head bolts off. It should be just sitting there. Wow. Yep. Definitely just sitting there. Alright, so I'll get my cherry picker out and I'll start lifting out of there. Alright, so I'm going to grab a screwdriver, or two actually, to stick in here, just so that it doesn't slide. Yeah, see how it's going to want to do. Sorry if it does it a bit, I kind of want it to tilt a little, like that screwdriver would probably be perfect, but I don't want to go much more than that. And I can always tilt it by hand, it's not that heavy. As long as the hoist has the weight of it, you can move it around. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything here. I'm gonna grab a light just to be sure. It should be good. Down a bit. I don't see anything on this side. Wouldn't be a bad idea to have another person kind of watch as you lift this up, but I should be good. It's a good thing on both of that. I didn't realize it actually connected to the rad shroud there. So, okay, now I'm going to slide back just a bit. Just a bit. Everything seems to be clear. Well, you can see the pistons so far look pretty good too. Might be getting close to maxed out on my jack here. If I do get maxed out, I'll have to get someone to help me. Yeah, or I'll have to jack the jack up. I guess. But I think it should be good. That was alright, that's it. Finally got to that screwdriver. Alright, and this is where we take a picture. Thinking that might become a problem. Catching the head. between the hood and the fan shroud. So from what I can see, everything looks great. I don't see straight out where it was leaking, but pistons and everything look awesome. Alright, well, I'll clean all that up. Then I'll get the head ready to go to the machine shop.